Howdy, partners. It's Chris Gonsalves coming at you from Channel Insider's lovely, sunny South Florida bureau. A lot going on this week. First of all, Leonard Iventosch, you're out of here at NetApp. What a surprise this was. Lenny, one of those guys, real character in the business. If you went to any of the trade events, you knew him, fun guy to hang around with, and was the real champion at NetApp, which has had a sort of on-again, off-again relationship with the channel, let's be honest. Sometimes they're real direct, sometimes they're real friendly to the channel. So in the meantime, Pat Linehan, Eric Mann, their two global sales guys, are going to be taking care of you channel folks while they do a nationwide search for replacement for Lenny Iventosch. But it's going to be hard to replace a character like that, and I bet Lenny shows up in some place real visible sometime real soon. I'd count on it. CompTIA Breakaway coming up next week. This should be pretty good. Yours truly is going to be hosting a panel on MSPs. It's called The Evolution of MSPs, Where Are You? Put together by CompTIA, and I'll have 6 really smart VARs and vendors around me, so I'm just going to try to stay out of the way and let them talk about really cool stuff like, you know, what kinds of models are working out there? How are you pricing these things? At what point in the engagement are you trying to sell people on managed services? Are you doing it up front? Are you waiting for the initial assessment? Should be interesting to hear all that. I'm really interested to see what kind of pull folks are getting on transactional stuff like hardware and software. Should be interesting. So stay tuned for that. We'll have a lot more coverage of that next week. And finishing up this week, a weird story out of upstate New York. A Ossining, New York VAR by the name of Charles Lacey Thompson, running a business called Colatronic, got busted selling counterfeit Cisco gear. Here's a gig. Get a bunch of knockoff, cheap Chinese wireless access points, slap Cisco labels and barcodes on them, put them in Cisco boxes and sell them to the tune of making $9 million in 05 and 06. Not a bad gig until the feds catch up with you. Well, they did, and he's going to a federal prison, according to a federal judge, for 2.5 years. And he's got to pay Cisco $2.2 million. Still waiting to hear back from Cisco on what role they played in the investigation. I suspect that they were heavily involved, and it's a pretty good message from them to be able to say, don't even think about it, punk, if you're thinking about counterfeiting our stuff. It's interesting that that group in the Southern District of New York, the federal prosecutors who worked on this, are the same federal prosecutors who are prosecuting Terrence Chalk, the owner of CompuLinks, who back in 06 got caught stealing his employees' identities and using their social security numbers to get credit cards, which he used to then float his business. This guy had won Westchester County Businessman of the Year. He was being celebrated by other trade magazines as a really terrific solution provider. The problem is his data center didn't have anything in it but wires and cobwebs. So he went to jail. Interestingly, I found out today, he got out of jail recently, hooked up with his girlfriend who's 4 months pregnant. They started a new business and were trying eagerly to scam a BMW dealership out of a fleet of BMW lease cars to support their fake business. So the feds nabbed him again. He's back in jail, and poor Terrence Chalk is now awaiting an August court date on 2 sets of federal charges. Good luck with that, Terrence. Stay in school, kids. Anyway, that's what's going on for us. Look for some really terrific breakaway coverage from us next week, along with all the other stuff that's going on. In the meantime, I'm Chris Gonsalves. For all of us here at Channel Insider, have a terrific, profitable day.